Welcome! Welcome to the Founding Moms webinar. And today we are going deep on your branding. And so I hope that as you're joining us here, you've got something to take some notes with because we really want to set you up. We want to set you up for a really big win because next month our meetup is going to be all about working on your headshots. We've got a professional photographer coming in, and she is doing back-to-back photo shoots for you. They're going to be retouched and everything. So today I want you to be thinking from that perspective. Okay, I'm doing headshots next month. What do I need to bring? What do I need to prepare to get ready for this? And I promise you'll get to ask questions today and everything. So my name is Fleshay Hesh, and we've got Steph Shatarian. We are the leadership team. Hey, Steph. We are the leadership team for the Founding Moms here in San Francisco. And today's guest is Rachel Gogos. And we invited her on because she is a branding expert. And so she will be leading us through this experience today. And I'm very excited to introduce you to her. So let me find my notes that I just lost. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. All right. So Rachel Gogos is the founder of Brand ID. And so she is a serial entrepreneur and brand strategist with a passion for helping people discover, develop, and market their authentic souls online. From her career start at the United Nations headquarters in New York City, where she helped create the look and feel for the organization's first website. So Rachel's got a lot of experience in this background. She's the mom of 2 little girls, and she's in Pittsburgh. So Rachel, welcome to the Founding Moms.
Thank you, Fleshay. Hi, Steph. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for joining us today.
This is going to be fun.
It really is. I love your background too. Like you've got the outdoors, a little bit of breeze. I want to come join you.
Can you hear the lawnmower? That was the only thing I was afraid of. Someone's cutting the lawn close by. Is it okay, the sound?
I think it's great.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
We're in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, so welcome.
Yay. And I know Steph and I have our little ones, in the house. If you hear some background noise, that's just our brand over at the Founding Moms, so don't mind that at all. So Rachel, the moms on this webinar today, their backgrounds run the gamut. So they're women who are just getting started with a business, they're ready to launch, or they're dreaming up to birth right now. And there are women who've been entrepreneurs for 10, 15 or more years. So really we've got this huge range of women. And they're getting ready for their headshots next month on July 7th. And so, we wanted to talk with you a little bit about how do we prepare? How do we get ready for this? And I would love to hear a little bit more also about what you do. What's a branding expert and strategist?
Sure. Let's see. So I specialize especially in personal branding strategy. So what that means is much like one would brand a product or a company, we apply those same principles to branding people. So talking about photography and video is something that's right up our alley. The first thing I tell everybody is just be yourself in every situation, because your biggest differentiator is being who you are. So showing up is your true authentic self is the best way to be, whether on a video or in a photo or in a work meeting. One other thing that we do is we design and build websites. So we especially do them for solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and small business owners. And a lot of times those websites are customized to showcase a lot of the brand attributes of the individual or the entrepreneur that started the company. And that's one thing that makes their website stand out. So photos tie into that quite a bit. It's a timely topic.
I love it. I love it. So let's tell the mamas a little bit about some do's and don'ts around their headshots. Do you have some thoughts about that?
Yes. In fact, I made some notes as well. So some of the do's I was thinking about, and I actually, just for fun, I even pulled out my own headshots that I had shot probably about 5-6 years ago when I launched my business. And there's do's on there and don'ts on there. So I'm happy to share those too and poke some fun at myself. But just to read through my list here, I would say, smile authentically and try to capture your true essence and energy in your photograph. So, Fleshay, if we take you, for example, and even your photo that's on your little Google Plus handle, you could tell it's a really authentic smile. Your eyes are smiling in it. And even just the way you're kind of tilting your head, it actually looks like how you naturally are. And I've just chatted with you a little bit to prepare for this, but I feel like I can, see your personality in that image, and it looks like how you truly would be in person. Be comfortable in your clothing. A lot of times when we go to have headshots taken or any photographs taken, we might wear a suit because we think we need to wear a suit for our clients. But I would say just, wear something that you're comfortable in and is professionally okay for you, right? For you and how your clients expect you to look. Wear colors that complement your skin tone. I tend to wear a lot of black, just in everyday life, but I also really like color, especially orange. It's a color I often wear for some reason, and a lot of the websites that we own or that we have orange in their branding, so it's a color that I've really come to connect with. But
I just want to interrupt you quickly. I've heard some people say that wearing black in headshots is not ideal. Do you have an opinion on that?
Yes. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I was going to say don't wear black. I wear black a lot personally. Black is not a great color because you just kind of blend in. It's not a color that really stands out. And Steph might even have some insight too, doing the video work that you do, Steph. I think a lot of the same principles that apply to photographs apply to video, right, in terms of what to wear?
Well, I definitely know with video that you want to pick not patterns, because patterns also tend to play with the camera and detract from your face, which is what you want everybody to see. And typically you want complementary color or a muted color, like a pastel. But I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rachel, but I think you can get away with brighter colors in headshots than you could maybe on camera when you really need the face to be the thing that stands out the most.
Definitely. I think bold colors are great. I like them a lot and frequently wear them. One thing I pulled up to share with everybody is, should I share my screen for a second here? Is that okay? Is a website that has what different colors stand for and represent. Can you all see this?
It's not showing right now.
Let me see.
Did you do the little share screen button?
Yep. There we go.
Oh, hey.
Hi. All right. Can you all see this website?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I can send out a link to this site, but it shows what different colors represent in terms of brand attributes. So, for example, if you're trying to to show that you're very energetic and you're a passionate person and you're very action-oriented and powerful in your positioning, red's a great color. If we talk about orange again, just since we mentioned it, that's a high energy color, determination, force, encouragement, strength, productivity. So just again, something to think about when you're choosing a color to wear. What are your natural brand attributes or your values as an individual, and how can you communicate those through color?
That's a great resource. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we'll make sure that we have a link to that page so everyone can access that. And I know that you guys are starting to have questions, so you can write those on the page that you're viewing this webinar on. There's a little black box that says Q&A, and you can post the questions there, and Steph will be manning that section and giving us the questions later towards the end of the call today.
One other do or don't, depending on how you phrase it, I would say is just wear clothing too that doesn't reflect the season. So you want to wear something that would look good year-round. I can show you some examples too. Can you still see my screen, or?
That's so funny. I see me on the screen, but I realize it's through your computer.
All right, let's see. Maybe I need to get to a different screen here.
There we go. Now we see you again.
Okay. Do you see this image? That's not the one I wanted to show you.
There we go. Yes.
Okay, great. I had a bunch. So this is a bad outfit. This was me, like I said, about 6 years ago when I had professional headshots taken. The reason this is bad is because you can tell it's late fall or early winter. With the scarf, I have a corduroy jacket on. So not exactly an ideal outfit for something you might want to use on a website, let's say, or marketing materials.
That's actually a great point. One of the things about taking these headshots is thinking about how we're going to be using them. And I don't know, Flesha, if you were planning on asking that a little bit later, but can you give us some ideas or examples about how we should be thinking about how this picture can be used?
Sure. I wrote down some creative ideas, and I'll show some examples a little later on, but using them on your website, say in custom headers, is a great place to use them. They add a ton of personality to your site, and they really convey and communicate a connection to your potential client that might be finding you through your website. You can use them in your marketing materials. One other thing is, depending on the type of work you do and the type of client you attract, and also how your business is named. So for example, if your business is named after your vanity URL or your name, then you might want a lot of the visuals to show your image. So you can do things like mailing labels or custom stamps that have your image on them. So if your brand is a little bit loose and fun, if it can be, and still convey professionalism, if that's important to you, then I think you can get creative in how you use those photos through your marketing materials. A lot of real estate agents have their images on their business cards. Financial planners might have their image on their business cards. And all those things are ways to connect to your ideal customer more. Can you still see my screen, or are we back to?
I can still see your screen.
Let me try to kill that screen share. Oh, there we go.
So were there any more do's and don'ts?
In my don't list, I had don't wear too much makeup. So, you know, wear enough so it might be a touch more. I don't wear a lot of makeup, but if I'm taking a photograph or appearing on video, I'll wear just a little bit more just so it shows up. Not so I don't look how I'm not inauthentic, but just so it accentuates parts of my face. Don't wear jewelry or hair decor that might detract from your face. So someone might wear a big necklace or huge earrings or maybe a huge bow or ribbon in their hair. I would say don't wear things that are just too big, because again, it'll just detract. People will notice those things and won't really notice your eyes and your smile and the things you really want them to connect to. And then the last thing I had on my list is, when you're picking out your clothing, you may not want to wear any visible brands on your shirt, let's say, or images or logos, unless you want to be closely associated with those brands. So, for example, you might use a prop that might be like a Starbucks cup. So if you drink a lot of coffee and that's something that you want to communicate through your brand, that's totally cool to do. But remember that the Starbucks logo might be in there too, and that might not be something that you want to associate yourself with, because people have strong feelings towards brands. That might be positive or negative, you don't know, but if they're your target customer and they're kind of making an assessment of you just on this photo or a video, don't give them reasons to not like you without them knowing you, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's as if the Starbucks cup is telling another story, and so
exactly.
decide if that enhances your story or takes away from it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, really good point. Thank you. So I'm wondering if there are any patterns that should be avoided for photos.
So like Steph said, wearing big patterns is totally fine in photos, but when you get into smaller patterns, they might look blurry or fuzzy. So I would stay away from those. I think ideally it's best to just wear a solid color. If there's some texture to it, I think that's nice as well. And just jewelry that might accent the colors too.
Okay, great. So in terms of the colors, should people's photos be really matchy with their website, or should there be some contrast? What's your opinion on that?
I have some examples to show you of people's websites that have a lot of photography. I think a little contrast is great. What you don't want to do, though, is clash colors. So if you're picking different tones that work well together with existing tones, I think that's great. Again, because you want to emphasize the photos, but you just don't want to clash or contrast too much where it's distracting.
Okay. All right, it makes sense.
Can we see those examples?
Yeah.
Sure. Here's a new one. This woman's name is Jada Selner, and she launched her website about a month ago. In fact, she lives in California.
I know Jada.
Okay, great. I think her website's amazing, and a lot of that has to do with just her great photography, right? So she wears a lot of solid colors, but notice her smile and how.
We're not seeing your screen yet.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that.
All these details.
It helps to share the screen, right? If you're showing a screen grab. Okay. Now can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. We'll go back to the home page. So I was saying, notice the colors Jada's wearing. And she had these photos taken before her website was done. So what was nice was her web designer could pick a palette that worked with her clothing. And knowing Jada, I'm not 100% sure of this, but she just wore clothes that she would, again, normally wear in colors that she normally loves. Look at her, her smile and her eye contact. Again, really helps you connect with her and feel like you're really getting to know her from some of her images. And Steph, since you know her, feel free to chime in as well.
Oh, I shouldn't have. It's not like we're besties or anything, but we've definitely met, and I definitely feel like you totally get who she is from looking at those pictures. Like, she's fun, she's real, she's authentic, all those things you were talking about before.
Yeah, totally.
But I really love how the colors of the images play off of the images in the site, and it's not super matchy. Like, the pink is not the same as the pink in the skirt. It's
right.
A little bit different, but it looks like it makes sense together.
Yes, totally. Here's an example of a woman. She's in her, I'd say, early 60s, and she came to us wanting to also connect and convey her brand. Now, her target market are people that are also in their 50s and 60s. So you'll notice some little things, how she uses her glasses kind of as props, right? Again, her colors are not exactly matchy-matchy, but each banner conveys a different aspect of her personality, and it also works kind of with the content that's on this particular page. Right, so she's funny as well, and that's what some of these images connect or share. Someone that I call, one of the cyber celebs is a woman named Chris Carr. Have you all heard of her?
Yes.
I think she's another one who has used her photography really well on her website. She shows her connection to nature. She lives, I believe, on a farm or just a large piece of property where she's out in the woods. She's really into nature and holistic living. And again, notice, you know, some things that are unique to her, like her pink streak in her hair. Her props are in connection or communicate, you know, a lot of what she wants to share on her website as well. So she's drinking a green smoothie in a lot of these. In her clothing too, like Steph was saying about Jada, it's not really matchy-matchy with the site exactly, but the tones and the colors definitely work with the rest of the website.
I love this. I love how she's so fully being herself. And
Yes.
I know that's something that a lot of women struggle with, especially women who are new to starting their business. Find it very counterintuitive to really narrow their focus about who their target audience is. And so I wonder if you would have some advice or some encouragement to help them get over that hump and really just be their whoever they are. Would you have some advice for them?
Yes, I would say, you know, first of all, spending time getting really, really clear on your target audience helps a lot. So I think we struggle with at least I personally do. If I go to a party and I'm not really sure who's going to be there, I might feel a little bit uncomfortable. I also tend to be a little bit introverted in my personality. And so I think that same rule can apply for some people when they're figuring out who they need to connect with to sell their product or to sell their services, whatever that might be. And so if you can spend some time up front getting very, very clear on your target market, even identifying a persona with your target market. So let's say your demographic is women around the age of 35, and you get extremely detailed about the fact that maybe they've graduated from college and they're married and they have, you know, 2 kids and they work part-time, and so really, really detailed about their life, but then you actually name the person. So give her a name like Jill or whatever that might be. When you're taking your pictures or when you're working on aspects of your business to communicate your brand, imagine yourself talking to Jill. And that will ease some of your tension or anxiety or discomfort, because if you're feeling like you're just connecting to one person whom you know really well, that's a good girlfriend, that's going to help you feel a lot more comfortable.
Rachel, that is so awesome. Can you stop your screen share?
Oh, yeah.
That's so helpful. Fleshay, what did you think?
No, I think absolutely. I'm actually really excited to see what the women come up with in their headshots for next month. But I think that's such an important point for them to really let their personalities out. Because from my personal opinion, when I come across headshots that aren't very juicy or aren't very alive or vibrant,
yes,
I don't really pay attention to them.
Right.
And it reminds me of something that happened to me at a Founding Moms event pretty recently. I had a relatively new headshot up, and it was pretty good. I liked it, and I wasn't super into it, though. And someone said to me, oh, you're so-and-so. Oh, you're Fleshay. I saw your website. Oh, you look better in person. She actually said that to me, and I thought, I'm taking that photo down, because it clearly, I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And it really wasn't a good representation of who I am. And I thought to myself, I never want anyone to say that to me again. Oh, you're much better looking in person. And so, I don't know, do you have any advice for picking headshots? You know, these women will have a couple to choose from. Right, Steph, they'll have, is it 3 images to choose from?
I think you get 5, actually. And what's really great is the photographer's gonna select 5 of them and retouch them before you look at them, which I have to share an example of that with you. I will send it out via email, because the difference between a retouched picture and an unretouched picture is quite dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah, so they'll have 5 to choose from, Rachel.
Great. That's great.
Do you have any advice for how they make that final selection?
I would say ask your husbands and your friends and your family. I mean, pick the ones that you each connect with the most, but then get some external opinion. So, Fleshay, just like the example you just shared with us, you thought the image you put on your website was good enough, let's say, but then having that external feedback, which I'm sure that woman meant is a compliment, shed some light for you, right? Yes. So our opinion of ourselves is always a little bit harsher, frankly, than people external to us. But those in our inner circle are going to want to give us constructive criticism, and having them help pick is always a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. So, Steph,
Oh,
I see we're getting a few. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just thought of one more thing. In terms of using your headshots, think of places too, like your Facebook photo or your Google Plus photo. I noticed a lot of people put really terrible photos of themselves in those situations. And again, when you're trying to build your brand, I think it's really important that there's consistency across the board in terms of the quality of the images. So you don't have to use the same image on all these different platforms, but at least look like how you really look, and don't make them so homey or candid that it doesn't look like you at all. I've seen those situations too.
Is there something to be said for having the same photo across all social media platforms?
You know, it can go either way. I remember Chris Brogan talked about this a couple years ago, and his advice was just use images of yourself that are current. So, you know, I think we see this on Facebook a lot too, where people use really old images of themselves because they were probably, you know, 20 pounds lighter before they had kids and all those things we all struggle with. But then if you're out in public and you see someone, they may not recognize you. So just using an image that's current and decent quality, doesn't have to be, you know, a headshot that you've paid a photographer to take, but at least just use images that look how you currently look.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And are flattering in the pose. You know, some people do put poses up on Facebook where you're thinking like, why are you using that as your profile picture? It's really not a flattering image of you. So
yeah.
Variety's fine. Variety's fine.
Variety's fine. Okay, thank you.
Hey, oh yeah. Hey, I was just going to talk to you. I was going to just wanted to throw it out there to our viewers that we just have a couple minutes left. So if you have a direct question that you'd love to hear Rachel answer, maybe germane to our upcoming photo mini sessions, or just something specific that you'd like to ask, get it in now. You just click on that little icon in the top right here, and I think it actually opens up a whole new window, but then you'll be able to type in your questions. And if for some reason you can't get it in, you can send it to us afterwards too, and we'll get it out there.
So Steph, I've seen a few chats come in. Are you able to see those?
Oh, I'm not seeing them, so you go for it.
Actually, they just flashed up on my screen. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get my hands on them.
It might have been me.
Oh, it was, okay, it was you. Well, I have one more question while we wait to see if the audience has some more questions. So, Rachel, what is your opinion about branding for, you know, the version of my business that it is right now versus the vision of my business where I want to see it go? What would your advice be?
Yeah, that's a great question, Fleshay. I would say, again, being as authentic as you are at the moment is really important, because in the early stages of building your business, you want to build trust with your customer, your clientele. And so if you're projecting an image of yourself that might be aspirational, it's great for you to look at that and aspire to, but I think it's really important for your customers to meet you where you are right now. And if we take Marie Forleo for an example, I think a lot of us mom entrepreneurs are familiar with Marie's work. She often shares how she used to shoot her video in the early days, how it was in her apartment, and it was just a little video cam, and you could tell the video quality is a lot poorer than it is now. And now she invests a lot of money in shooting these amazing videos, and even has a crew to help her do that. So totally fine to be who you are, where you are at the moment, and those aspirations are for us to kind of look towards, and having role models. Even if we look at Marie Forleo's photography, for example, right? Tons of poses, definitely high quality, might not meet our budget right now, might not meet our business right now, but having those aspirational models is also a good idea to have in the background.
Great, thank you. So, Steph, did any questions come in yet?
Not Not so far, but that's good because we're about out of time. So,
So Rachel, if mamas want to get a hold of you, how could they do that?
Sure. The best place is just to email me. You can email me at R and my last name, which is Gogos, is in Sam, at thebrandid.com. And that's the THE brandid.com.
Great. And we'll also include your email address in our follow-up email along with the recording, so everybody will have access to that, as well as the website that you showed us with the branding colors and what they represent.
Great.
So, Rachel, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your time with us today. I know this is really going to set the mamas up for a big win in their headshots. I'm excited to show you some of what they come back with after we do our next month.
I'd love to see some examples, actually. I wish I was closer to San Francisco. It sounds like you've put together a great package for your mamas.
It's going to be really fun. And so, mamas, we're actually going to be out in the park and for your headshots. And Steph and I will be on hand to help support you in getting a really great shot. So there are a few spaces left, so you can still reserve your space on our meetup page. And Steph, do you have any last words you want to share?
The only thing I wanted to share was just what I got out of the conversation takeaways to just so that you have them and maybe you can think about what you take away from the conversation. But authenticity is the most important. Thinking about a great tip that I thought Rachel gave was thinking about looking at a specific person, get a really specific idea of who it is that you're looking at when you're working with a photographer that'll help you reach that authentic self, and wearing colors that you feel good in that are also relational to your brand. That's what I got.
Love it.
Well done, Steph. Well done.
Well done. Well, thank you both, and to all the mamas listening, have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.